Susie, no, this is Howard the house guest. This went on for 3 weeks. Then Howard kept, you know, you have a dentist appointment at 2:30. You know, you need to, and your children have a ski lesson or no, skating lesson, obviously. But I mean, he was like on it the whole time. And I'm like, oh, Howard. But the thing was, he read from the New York Times aloud every morning. And Howard loves me to tell the story because it was like the fabric of our life. He would go up to the candy store, come back with it, and I'm trying to, you know, clean up and deal and do laundry and figure out what the day. Our children were quite young. And Howard sits there and he crosses his legs. Cross your leg, Howard. and he'd cross his leg and he'd read aloud. And he'd say, get this. And I go, get what? And he'd go, and I didn't know what he was talking about. And he'd say, this is incredible. What's incredible? What country are you talking about? Where? I mean, and it went on and on. And I was just trying to be a good sport and read a recipe or deal with my life. And Howard was there, and I loved it. We all loved it. But I said, Howard, it's about your leg. Do you have to show the white of your leg? You went to Princeton, you went to Choate. I mean, men wear long socks. And Howard goes, no, Liz, and I teased him, what, Brett, what? 20, what was it, 17? I said, listen, a guy wears long socks, it's like a thing. Happy birthday, Howard.
One is a passion for Africa and Sierra Leone in particular. The second is friendship. And the third is leadership. I think we'll go to the leadership first. And this is a reference to a chapter in Howard's professional life that he hasn't spoken about this weekend, and he hasn't, there isn't a representative of in the room, actually. And I remember that this was a challenging part of Howard's professional career, but it also illustrates his extraordinary gifts as a leader. And it was something, it was an experience in your life that at times you shared with me. You asked, you know, we talked about. And this was Howard's tenure as the president of the Pathfinder Fund. This is an organization, a trailblazing organization in the United States that championed reproductive rights, family planning. At an early stage, in the last 10 years hasn't been kind to that subject in the United States. But when Howard took over the tenure, in his tenure as the head of the Pathfinder Fund, it was another period where this was very shaky ground. This was very new territory to be championing. And Howard was tapped as an unusual choice to be the leader of this organization that was struggling, faced internal difficulties as an organization, was being attacked from externally, politically and otherwise, and as a result was also suffering financially from a great deal of difficulty of making its way. And they turned to Howard as an outsider from this field. He's not a reproductive rights expert. He's not a physician in maternal health, nor was he a seasoned manager of those kinds of organizations in the States. He had these other attributes as a business leader, as a Peace Corps director who had worked in difficult circumstances as a leader. And they decided, once they met Howard, that he was this kind of leader who they could turn to as a neutral, mature, balanced leader at a time of great difficulty. This, as they said, was not, and correct me if I'm wrong, Howard, but this was not an easy assignment. It was not a whole lot of fun in some ways. This was shepherding an organization through an extraordinarily difficult period. And it called on all of the capacities that we've heard about this evening of Howard's. This capacity to listen, this capacity to build trust with others, this capacity to hear many sides of an issue, this capacity to make hard decisions under duress, this capacity to be trusted. And Pathfinder struggled throughout that time. They didn't declare you the superhero that had won the day and everything was perfect at the end of your tenure, because you only got so far on holding things together during that time. But that, I just introduced that to you because it was an unheralded or unremarked upon part of this gentleman's extraordinary career. And it's another illustration of the kind of leadership that Howard has demonstrated and has brought into the world of managing good works in difficult circumstances.
I just want to thank you for being the wonderful friend you have been since we met in May 2000 and in May 1998 in this beautiful Oswani. I remember perfectly all our discussions during these wonderful dinners every evening.
I know the real Howard Gray. Think about the last 3 days, all the people you've met, everyone you've talked to from every walk of life. Howard Gray is a piece of all of you, and you're part of Howard Gray. However, if we don't say something tonight, this guy will be up for sainthood tomorrow. We're living with that for the rest of our lives. So there's a side of Howard you don't know. Now, Bob probably knows because he's been there. Wint certainly knows. But Howard wasn't born 45 years old when you met him. He had a life before that. There's a 20-year period missing tonight that I haven't heard about. So I need to tell you a little about it. You don't know that Howard was a great athlete. I'll tell you about that. You also don't know that he has a temper. He gets mad like real people. Now I can tell you that Howard, one day, Howard and I would be in the Bohemian Club, and he's hobnobbing with the Swiss of Epsom crowd in the chairs, which Bob has been there, he knows. But the next day we'd be sitting in the Sacramento River with our feet in the mud eating Ritz crackers and peanut butter. So Howard crossed all socioeconomic levels, all social levels, ethnicity levels. Howard has a capability second to none. Howard.
Well, Howard, I think that's the program that we have for tonight, and I don't know that I know another person that has ever brought this number of people together from all over the world to share an experience. When you look at the people that came here to honor you, from little kids to some of your oldest friends, you are one of a kind, and for all of us. And from us to you, thank you for being a part of our lives, and thank you for making this happen here in El Paso, Texas.
Happy birthday, Howard!
Happy birthday to you.